Welcome back. Johannesburg Water is warning residents about possible contamination affecting parts of Johannesburg's central business district as well as the Bezuidenhout Valley. The utility is warning residents not to consume water pending investigations after complaints of a strong smell were received earlier this week. WaterCAN's Dr. Ferrial Adam joins us now for more. Dr. Adam, thank you so much for your time and for joining us on New Year's Eve. Maybe just talk to us about your organization's assessment of this recent water contamination.
Good evening. I think that, these kind of things do happen. It's not abnormal to have these anomalies. What is important is that Joburg Water has been able to isolate the situation and have given the right call that people should not drink that water. I don't think that the whole of Joburg needs to panic. I do think that in general, our water is of very good quality in Johannesburg. Rand Water, provides the water. We have good water. And so we will have isolated incidences. What is important is that the municipality or in this instance, Joburg Water acts when that does happen.
So, I mean, you then see this in terms of the effectiveness of Johannesburg's water's current measures being quite effective, especially when it comes to the water testing and isolating, especially in managing this particular crisis.
I think that they reacted pretty speedily. We've had other areas WaterCAN has tested just before Christmas where we found similar things. Water had a very bad smell, color was bad. And, we had to force the municipalities to actually do the tests then. So I think this was a good response. And I do think that people need to be vigilant, though not panic. And I know that there's a lot of stuff going on WhatsApp saying, don't drink the water, all of that. The water in your taps at the moment in Johannesburg is still safe to drink. I drink it all the time. But, if there's something wrong, you will be able to see it.
Do you think that there needs to be additional steps? I mean, you talk about there not being a panic, but should there be steps taken to ensure that the safety of the residents and the businesses is taken into consideration with regards to this possible contamination?
So, yes. I mean, I think that the first thing you need to know, and everybody needs to know this, is that Joburg Water tests our water monthly. They have a set number of points that they test, and they have to test it. It's required that they test the water, and they upload those results publicly onto their website, so people can see the quality of their drinking water. And for a long time, it's been really good. They have anomalies every now and again, but it's not big concerns. What has happened here is that it's an isolated area. So remember, Joburg has about 87 reservoirs and water towers, and there could be things in each, that happens to them. But luckily, we have seen very little effect on our reservoirs. Our reservoirs are pretty good. So that kind of, we're quite safe in terms of that. The response in terms of this was it's an isolated area. So what they did is they're trying to identify where it is. And the thing with pipes is that they break or they corrode, and they do create some kind of contamination within the water, but not, it's not to the point where people need to panic. This issue was identified, and I think Joburg Water has been able to try to isolate the issue and find out what is really going on. So I think that is a good thing, and people can rest assured that in terms of what are the kind of mechanisms that Joburg Water has put into place, it's following those steps. Firstly, they were alerted to the water. The second thing they needed to do was to test. And while they test and get the results back, they need people to stop drinking that water and provide alternatives. That's the basic steps that they follow. Then they will release the results of the test, and they'll let us know if that water is okay. If not, they will delve deeper and find out what exactly is going on. And I think they followed all the methods that they need to when something like this happens in any municipality in South Africa.
And when we look at the issues broadly when it comes to water, in your opinion, what do you think are the most urgent infrastructural reforms that need to be addressed in order for water supply issues not to be persistent in the city of Johannesburg?
I mean, we've been talking about the infrastructure challenges for quite a while, and I think the key thing we keep saying is that we need to have a ring fencing of the budget. If we don't have Joburg Water having control over the budget that they need, they're not going to be able to fix pipes. They're not going to be able to fix reservoirs. They're not going to be able to finish big projects like Brixton reservoir in the city of Johannesburg. And until they, so that constrains them. So the first step for us is for them to ring fence the funding and the budget for water and sanitation, and then for the work to actually have no disruptions. The biggest disruption we saw last year in all the infrastructure projects, whether it was a leaking pipe or communal taps were not working or reservoirs needed to be built, was the lack of money. And we saw that last year towards the latter part of the year, Joburg Water couldn't pay their contractors. And this cannot continue. They have to be able to pay contractors. They have to be able to finish work.
How do you think Johannesburg as a city can adopt more sustainable water management practices in order to reduce dependency, especially on that aging infrastructure?
So I think when we talk about sustainable practices, I think we need to delve deeper into that. In the fact that we still flushing, safe, good quality drinking water down the toilet is actually atrocious. We have to look at all new developments having grey water systems. We have to look at how do we, as citizens, start collecting water that we use as grey water for our gardens and try to be more mindful of that. And I think that is something where Joburg Water needs to think about that as well, because if we look at our leaks, I mean, we lose about 27% of our water in Johannesburg just from leaking pipes. And no system can be sustainable if that continues.